Hello. This is the Bible in fewer words. We are Carol and Steve Wells. This is episode 162, the book of Esther, chapters 3 through 6. If you enjoy this podcast and the Skeptics Annotated Bible website, consider supporting us at patreon.com/BFW. Hi, Steve.
Hi, Carol.
We need to thank a new Patreon member.
Oh, really?
Yes, Danny. Danny joined the group.
Oh, great.
Of folks who support us. Thanks so much, Danny. Esther is not a long book.
No, it isn't. 10 chapters, and we're going to have 3 episodes for it in total.
Okay. Well, should we just get into it?
I left something out last time that we're going to have to cover in this episode, but we can deal with that when it turns up.
Great.
I'll have to add it to the notes, but it is something that we're going to be covering in this episode that doesn't make sense otherwise, so we'll have to add it. We need to review a little bit, right? In the last episode, we had a king and a queen named Vashti.
Yes.
And the king had a big party, a 6-month party, long party, and he wanted her to entertain his guests. And I guess they got kind of drunk and it was rowdy, right? He wanted her to come out and she refused to display her beauty.
Okay.
Wearing the crown, and maybe it was only the crown. So she refused to do that. And so he asked his advisors what he should do about that.
And those very wise men said, get rid of that woman.
And find a queen to replace her. And so they had the contest, and they found the most beautiful virgins in the whole kingdom.
The woman who this book is named after.
Yeah.
Esther.
And Esther won that contest.
Good luck, Esther.
That's pretty much all that happened in the last episode.
Okay. So, chapter 3. King Ahasuerus promoted Haman, the Agagite, to be the most powerful official in his kingdom.
Yeah, the Agagite. So that means that he's supposedly a descendant of King Agag.
Oh.
Remember him?
I do remember him. He was one of the only people left of his whole people.
Yeah, there was a genocide, right? God wanted Saul to kill all the Amalekites, and he did, killed them all.
Except for
Agag. So God and Samuel got very angry at him for not killing everyone. So Samuel had to hack Agag to death himself. Yeah. Anyway, I guess he had descendants, and this is one of them.
All right. Haman. His name is Haman.
Haman, yeah.
All the king's servants bowed to Haman, except for Mordecai.
Yeah.
And Mordecai is the uncle of
Yeah, he's
Esther.
Esther's uncle.
Oh, and
he's a Jew.
Yes, and she's a Jew. And he kind of said,
don't tell anybody.
Don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
Let's keep that between ourselves.
Right.
Haman was angry at Mordecai for refusing to bow to him.
When he heard that Mordecai was a Jew, he decided to kill all the Jews in the kingdom. But he needed to choose a day on which to do it. So he cast lots to select the day. And the Bible tells us here that Pur is the name for lots. I guess maybe the Hebrew name for lots.
Yeah.
And so that's where the Jewish feast of Purim comes from.
Oh, I am learning so much in these episodes, Steve.
Yeah. All right, so Haman said to King Ahasuerus, "There are people scattered throughout your kingdom who refuse to obey your laws. Let's kill them all."
And he's talking about Jews, so he's not telling Ahasuerus, there are Jews in your kingdom, let's kill them all.
Yeah, that is interesting. At least I don't think he really says who they are, but he's thinking Jews because Mordecai is a Jew.
So have the Jews always had trouble with people hating them?
Sure seems that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. All right, so that is Haman then saying, let's kill them all.
Yeah, and then he says, "I'll pay for it myself with 10,000 talents of silver."
So he's going to pay people to join his little army to go kill all the Jews.
Well, killing people is expensive.
Well, if
he's going to kill everybody, all the Jews in the whole kingdom. That's going to cost some money.
Yes, it is.
And so he's telling the king,
Uh-huh.
I'll pay for it myself.
Okay. The
He
king...
really didn't like it when when this guy didn't bow to him.
So the king said to Haman, okay, do whatever you think is best.
So the king's scribes sent out a decree to all the provinces declaring a kingdom-wide Kill the Jews Day.
Oh my gosh.
It was scheduled for the 13th day of the 12th month. That's the one they selected by lot.
So chapter 4. When Mordecai heard about the Kill the Jews decree, he tore his clothes, put on sackcloth and ashes, went into the city and cried out loud. Yeah, I would have too.
Yeah. Esther sent her servant Hattash to find out what was upsetting Mordecai. Mordecai told Hattash about the king's Kill the Jews decree. He told him to ask her to persuade the king to repeal the decree.
Esther said to Mordecai, gather all the Jews in Shushan and tell them not to eat or drink for 3 days. I'll go talk to the king. If I die, I die.
So Mordecai did as Esther asked.
Wow, that Esther. She sure loves her uncle.
Yeah.
And I guess she just wants to do what's right. Chapter 5. Esther put on her royal clothes and went to see the king, who was sitting on his royal throne in his royal house. I know that that's not in the Bible,
But I think
Steve.
it is.
It's clever.
No, I think it is. Want me to check?
Okay, check.
Okay. Now it came to pass that on the 3rd day that Esther put on her royal apparel and stood in the inner court of the king's house and over against the king's house, and the king sat upon his royal throne in the royal house over against the gate of the house. So he sat on his royal throne in his royal house.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Okay, I should not have doubted you. The king was happy to see her and gave her the golden scepter.
He said to her, "What do you want, Esther? I'll give you up to half my kingdom."
Wow.
Yeah.
She said, I'd like you and Haman to come to dinner tomorrow night.
Well, that's a reasonable little request, isn't it?
She's pretty tricky.
Yeah. Haman was feeling good until he saw Mordecai at the king's gate, who didn't stand up when he saw him coming. But he felt better when he got home and began to brag to his wife Zeresh and his friends about how rich and powerful he was. Haman said to them,
Queen Esther invited only me and the king to a dinner she's having tomorrow night. But I'll not be happy as long as I see Mordecai the Jew sitting at the king's gate.
Then Haman's wife and friends said to him, "Make a 50-cubit-high gallows and tell the king to hang Mordecai on it."
And Haman liked the idea, so he made the gallows.
Yeah, 50 cubit high, that's 75 feet high.
Why is she saying this?
The wife?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
You're so big and powerful. Make a big and powerful gallows.
I have no idea what she and his friends are doing here, but that's their suggestion.
Mm-hmm. So chapter 6. That night, the king couldn't fall asleep. So he commanded that the book of records of the Chronicles be read to him. So that's not the Chronicles we just finished a couple of books ago.
I don't think so, but if that was what he was going to have read to him because he couldn't fall asleep, it would be a good choice.
Kind of boring, but genealogy.
Not just kind of boring. It's the most boring book in the entire world, I think.
Okay, so this must like the public records or the police log in the paper.
I think so. I think it's the records of the kingdom. Yeah.
Okay. So the Chronicles told how Mordecai had revealed the conspiracy of Bigthana and Teresh. What is that?
Yeah, that's the conspiracy I didn't tell you about in the last episode. What it is there were these two guys who had a conspiracy against the king. They were going to try to assassinate him, and Mordecai found out about it and told the king. And so they were arrested and they were executed. And that was in the Chronicles, I guess, that he's reading.
Uh-huh. But did he tell the king? Because wouldn't the king have known about it if he had...
He's kind of forgetful.
Okay.
Or maybe it all happened just without his knowledge. But there was this conspiracy to kill him.
Yeah.
And Mordecai was the guy that saved him from it.
Oh, okay. So the king asked, how has Mordecai been honored for this?
His servant said, he hasn't been honored.
The next day, when Haman stopped by, the king said to him, "What should I do to honor someone?"
Haman thought the king wanted to honor him.
Haman said, "Let the person to be honored wear the king's clothes and crown, while riding the king's horse in the streets of the city, while everyone says, 'This is how the king honors someone.'"
What a plan. The king said to Haman, "Hurry and do that for Mordecai the Jew."
Uh-oh.
I'd like to honor him the way you suggested.
So Mordecai came to the palace while Haman went away mourning. And you're going to leave us hanging here until the next episode? What happens? What happens?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's kind of a fun episode.
It was.
Thanks for making that clear to us.
Sure.
All right. Thanks, listeners. We'll be with you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.